This is one very strange game. Out of all the Battleground games I've played, I've seen some fun, mediocre, and truly horrible ones. And I'd put Jujutsu Shenanigans into a mix of the categories, or put it into its own, interesting, or unique. So if you've never heard of this Roblox game before, well, it's a Battlegrounds game that doesn't dare to bear its name, but everyone would confidently say that it is. And the characters are obviously based off of JJK, so if you didn't know, there you go. Now, upon the first glance of this game, your first assumption might be that this game looks like ass, considering some of the things in it, or your other guess might be that this game just doesn't take itself seriously, to which, if you played the game, you definitely know the answer to that. Now, the reason I say Shenanigans is an interesting Battlegrounds game is because it's pretty different from every other one. It just doesn't feel the same as others. I mean, you got the regular ultimates, M1s, variants, and abilities. Combos feel the same, and so does the overall combat system, but throwables just feel the best in this game. Although, there is one thing I like to get out of the way first, and that would be the collision or the breaking of materials. That's a pretty normal feature in a lot of Battlegrounds, but it's quite different in this one. You're kind of able to destroy almost anything in this game. Walls, floors, entire borders, and probably anything except Phoenix Wrights. So how does this affect gameplay at all? Well, you could just kick somebody out of the map, smack down a wall to escape, or some other shenanigans. Anyway, getting back on topic. What does Shenanigans add to the regular Battlegrounds formula? A whole lot of things. Let's start off pretty normal and talk about the special abilities. So usually, every Battlegrounds game has 4 main abilities, with maybe some variants included. But Shenanigans has something on top of that, which is a special ability each individual character has. The special ability could be anything. A counter with Hakari, feints with Itadori, and a teleport with Gojo. These abilities could kind of change an entire battle in my opinion, especially Yuji's. A feint in a Battlegrounds game is kind of a new thing to me, since I haven't seen it in any others before. But like I said, I think feint's the best special ability, because since this is a Battlegrounds game, combos could change the tide of any fight. So tricking your opponent into getting a starting hit for a combo is incredibly useful. Gojo's and Hakari special could probably be manipulated as powerful as Yuji's, but I'm just too stupid to know how. And I'm pretty sure his special is the only one that doesn't drain your ultimate bar. But yeah, adding specials just adds so much variety to the gameplay for each character, and we all know that extra mechanics are all the things people definitely care for. So besides all that, they added a feature that's universal to everybody: environmental features. I think that really most Battleground games have never put any thought towards, considering most of them just have plain battlefields with maybe some trees. Now, of course, a good amount of Battlegrounds have floor and wall collision protocols, and some games allow to extend combos to environments, but Shenanigans just adds a lot more than that. So, vaulting. It might not be entirely useful in combat, but hey, it's there. You could also use it to run away faster, I think, or trick your enemies, sometimes. But then, there's a feature that most Battlegrounds wouldn't even think of implementing: wall running. This was one of the best choices the developers made in my opinion. It's the best fuck around mechanic in this game, and guess what? It's actually a decent and viable tactic in combat. I feel like this feature just adds a whole new layer of combat that more players should utilize. The enemy really can't tell where you're gonna be coming from if you're acting like a wild and rampant monkey the entire time. Honestly, adding parkour to a Battlegrounds game should be normalized because it's pretty fun. And going back to throwables, since they're part of the environment, there is a decent variety of them too. So far I've thrown garbage cans, fire extinguishers, tombstones, and chairs. Also, fire extinguishers create smoke on impact, so take that as you will. So with that being said, let's move on to the characters. How are they different from other JJK games? I'm gonna talk about Gojo first. There really aren't any variants with his abilities, but there are some abilities you could combo with his special teleporting move for more damage. You got Reversal Red, Barrages, whatever. But now for his ultimate, the domains and other abilities are pretty basic in my opinion, but then there's a hidden feature: Hollow Purple Nuke, or whatever this is. It doesn't really cool. In fact, it does more damage to you most of the time, but it looks pretty cool. On top of that is a Black Flash ability, done by doing Reversal Red and the special, but it's also another thing that does damage to you as well if you miss horribly. I do like his mix-up of abilities though. It just gives you much more gameplay variety, which is pretty nice. Anyway, next guy, Yuji. So he has some nice abilities, including a Time Black Flash, but this isn't the first time you've seen that in a JJK game. Almost all of his abilities have variants, and they all go pretty nicely with the feint ability as well. Now for the ultimate, Sukuna takes over and the abilities are crazy. A decent far range dismantle, sometimes, nice range on Fuga, and a pretty cool rush ability. His special turns from a feint into a grab that has weird reach. But of course, you can't forget the real specialty, Malevolent Shrine. But let's say somebody's blocking in your domain. What are you gonna do?
Get out. No way!
Yeah, there's a world slash in this game, and it's pretty nice. Except for the fact of its total garbage ass range, and that it doesn't fully kill. Anyway, last character I'm going to cover, Hakari. I know Megami's playable too, but guess what? I'm broke. So, out of the three, Hakari is just the least fun to play in my opinion. His abilities just don't feel that great to use in synergy, or it's also that he just doesn't feel satisfying to combo with. What I'm trying to say is, I guess he's just not as fluid as Gojo or Sukuna, if that makes sense. He has two different combo finishers and only one combo extender that's decent. And his ball, well, if you have a half-assed reaction time speed, you'll probably still be able to block it. So anyway, his ultimate. This is a pretty mixed bag. Some people hate it, some people love it. And the people that love it are some lucky-ass bastards, and to those who hate it are quite the opposite. This entire ultimate is not predetermined, but rather on RNG, which obviously makes sense. So basically, Hakari has a domain where you just have to use visuals, some abilities, just to get it rolling to see if you're actually gonna get his ultimate. Then it follows the situation, and you can see whether or not you get your ultimate. And what do you know? A lot of people don't get it on the first try. But once you do, or if you even get your ultimate at all, it's honestly pretty good. The regeneration is great, albeit you can still die to a shrine and world slash combo from Sukuna. And I also believe you can move around the shrine, so there's some advice. So since you really can't kill a Hakari in his ultimate, you could always try using the environment to advantage, just by juking him out or something. And so with that being said, now it's time to acknowledge a few problems I've had. In my opinion, the game isn't really that smooth, or should I say polished. An example of this would probably just be attacking people. In a lot of other Battlegrounds, the impactful hits just feel so much better than this game. On top of that, it's a little bit clunky, which leads me to the next thing, the hitboxes. I just feel like some abilities have some kind of hidden extended grab, like most of Yuji's abilities. It just kinda makes no sense at all sometimes. So anyway, the big question that brought everyone to this video. Is Jujutsu Shenanigans actually the best Battleground game of recent? I'd probably say yes. In terms of quality, no. But in terms of almost everything else, it's a pretty good game, I'm not gonna lie. And I've only played like 7 consistent Roblox fighting games, so this opinion might just be fully shit anyway. But it's the only ever Battlegrounds to ever include interactable environments that you could use other than to extend combos, extra attacks, a whole lot of secret variants, all while the game isn't even serious and that sweaty. It is, in my opinion, the most entertaining Battlegrounds game right now. So, all in all, Shenanigans is most of the time bound to be an enjoyable experience, just because of how weird and different it is from every other Battleground game. So tell me your thoughts on this game. Is it good, bad, whatever? Middle of the road? Keep those thoughts in the comments, cause that's all I have to say about this game. So see ya fellows!